Okay, so every format is different, and when you approach a particular format, by format I mean a screenplay, a teleplay, a play, a short story, flash fiction, a novel, an autobiography, a memoir, each format is different. So when you read, if you're planning on writing, like I'm working on this, it's kind of a long project, but it's a memoir project, which is kind of one a day letter to my mother about the wisdom that she gave me, and then sort of summarizing my day from the point of view of a wisdom piece. And it's, I'm hoping to do it over a year. I got 4 months in, and Mom said, "I have no more wisdom." I said, "Mom, you're ridiculous." But anyway, I have to kind of revisit it. But for that, I needed to read memoirs. I needed to understand what memoirs. I needed to first write down, without reading anything, my ideas, so I could have the possibility of being original, so that something unique and original that was born from me, not influenced by the world of memoirs, could occur. So I wrote for a little while, like for a couple weeks, and then I did my research. And so reading memoirs, teaching memoir workshops, working with how other people were working with memoir, that helped me inform and clarify my choice for that format. Now the screenplay and novel, which is mainly what we're talking about here, because a novel can be fictoire, and I think everything you write should be partly tied to something that you care about or something that you know about. So whether it's a novel and a piece of fiction, always kind of inserting pieces of yourself, fascination, excitement, actually real life experience. If you're actually taking from someone else's life that you have to maybe switch it up or get a release to be able to use that in your book. But that's a whole other legal aspect. But writing a novel or writing a screenplay, there are legal aspects, and you need to be aware of those, that you need to be able to protect your work with the copyright and through the Writers Guild, and understand what the legal aspects are to protect your work. And in terms of the format, how writing, just the process of writing, I mean, it is very different. I find with writing flash fiction or short stories or the novel, even those within the genre of fiction are very different. How the cha-cha-cha lays on the page, like in a short story or flash fiction, yes, you kind of need to suggest an ending, but it doesn't have to be, it's more of a pastiche, it's more of a little pastry that you can eat, and that you have a question at the end. So it isn't necessarily resolved, but you've had an experience, and the experience is real, and it's really a slice of life. And then in a novel, it's really about building the central question of your book or your novel, and then developing enough obstacles to keep you and your audience interested, and then delivering on it. And it's a lot more imagination and being in the room and writing about the space. In screenplays, the costumes, the shots, the angles, the actual size of the lenses, are going to be choices that will add to the blueprint that you're creating as a screenwriter. So the screenwriter is you're skittering your stone across the water, and you're rippling the water. You have to dig deep, have honest subtext and dialogue, and but you're creating these snapshots that are building, in my opinion, as opposed to these full-on portraits, that are where a reader can spend time with a character. So on screen, you're creating. It still has to be well written. Quentin Tarantino talks about this. It's wonderful. He walks up to a bar in his screenplay, right? His characters, and he goes inside. He doesn't know. He knows there's an old guy with whiskers in there, and there's a woman who's fighting for her life, but he doesn't really understand yet what's going on. But he knows enough of his story so that he can get in there, write the scene, write what's going on. Man stands at a bar, lifts a glass of wine, holds a woman, with his belt around her neck, and pulls her close. "You're going to kiss me or else." But he doesn't know what's going to happen. So I feel it's I'm of two minds. Sometimes I'll write and just let my characters talk to me. I'm a little more comfortable having a basic outline. Neil Simon knew his 5 big beats that he could write to in his plays and his screenplays. You have to find what's comfortable for you. Ultimately, you need to soar. You need your characters to be able to talk to you. You need to get inside that world. You need to let it rip. I'm finding I learned a lot writing my novel about my screenplay. So when I go back and rewrite the screenplay, if I ever get there, or rewrite it as a series, I was able to expand on what I knew about my characters through writing the novel.